Hey guys, it's Jeff from Pressure Luck, and it's practically here already. Can you believe it? Thanksgiving. And this video, guys, this is the one. This is the main achievement that you all have to unlock to make the proper Thanksgiving happen. I almost feel like it's the reveal of Plinko on The Price is Right, guys. We are talking, you guessed it, a turkey. We're gonna do a whole turkey in the Instant Pot. Don't be scared. Maybe I was a little nervous at first, but I tested the waters for you, and I'm telling you guys, it's gonna be such a fabulous way to prepare. Turkey's never quick, period, end of story. There's some preparation that has to go into it, but in the Instant Pot, a turkey will cook much more quickly and be much more tender than it would be, in my opinion, if it were in the oven. There'll be a final oven step, and that's only gonna be about 5 to 10 minutes tops. You guys are gonna see it's really very simple, and I'm telling you right now, it's really a 3-in-1 meal. Turkey, stuffing, and gravy, one Instant Pot. It's time to give some thanks because this turkey is about to land at Plymouth Rock. Let's go. Step 1, thaw the turkey. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take a frozen turkey that's between 7 to about 9.5 pounds. And now we want to take it and then put it in the refrigerator and let it thaw in there for a good 3 to 4 days before we're ready to start everything with the turkey. So just make sure that turkey is nice and thawed. See you soon, turkey. And about 4 days later, there's our turkey, nice and soft to the touch, perfect. Step 2. Create the brine for the turkey. So I'm gonna take 1 gallon of water, which is 16 cups, and then put it into a nice sized pot and bring it to a boil. Then we need our next ingredient, and that would be turkey brine. I am using the Rodell brand. They have this, guys, you guessed it, at Costco. And guess what? If you're not a Costco member, they sell it on Amazon for a great price. I will link it in the recipe so you can easily make access to this. It's perfect because it has all the seasonings you need right here, and it's gonna really set that turkey flavoring over the edge. And now we want to take 2 cups of that fantastic brine mix. And there we have it, all of our brining agents. And I'm not gonna lie, it looks like you took a walk through the woods and just picked stuff up off the ground and threw it in here. But I'm telling you, that brine's gonna make the turkey taste great. And now that our water is boiling, let's add our brine to it. And then give it all a nice stir and let it bubble for about 2 minutes, and then we're gonna turn the heat off, and then we're gonna let it cool and chill down in the fridge. And after 2 minutes, let's turn our stovetop off and then just let that die down. And once we've let our liquid brine cool down for a little bit on the stove for about 15 to 20 minutes, we're gonna cover it with the lid, and then we're gonna pop it in the refrigerator to cool down for the rest of the way. And once we pop it in the fridge, we're gonna rest it on top of a cutting board or a towel or anything of that nature. Luckily, my parents have a refrigerator that's as deep as a football field, and this will fit in just fine. We also wanna make sure that we cover it with a lid, like I said before, because we don't want the steam getting out in the fridge and making everything all warm. We also wanna make sure all that liquid brine cools down before we submerge the turkey in it, because it'll begin to cook the turkey if it's already hot. We don't want that to happen, obviously. We want it to be nice and cool. So come back in about an hour and a half or so when everything is chilled down a bit, and then we're going to take the turkey and the liquid brine, put it in a bag, and magic's gonna happen. So I'll see you in about an hour and a half. In the meantime, walk the dog, watch Barbra Streisand, do whatever you want to do. Step 3, brine the turkey. So now let's take our turkey out of the refrigerator and prepare that. Here's our delicious turkey, looking good in the bag. So I'm gonna take a scissor and I'm gonna cut it open. Voila. And then just cut the bag open. Just be careful you don't lance the turkey. And there's already gonna be in a lot of these bags a bunch of liquid already, that's fine. We don't have to rinse our turkey off or anything because it's just gonna go into the brining bag anyway, and it'll just mix in with that, it'll be great. And look at that, there's a little timer in there like in the Money Pit. Remember that when the thing poop pops up and she goes, turkey's done, after it flies halfway through across the house? I love that. Anyway, I'm gonna take that out of the turkey because, well, we don't really need it in there for our purposes of the Instant Pot. Oh look, the heart. All right, so now that the turkey is out of the bag, we wanna take, anything that the turkey that's inside of the turkey, for instance. You could leave the little plastic thing that holds it, but all of the insides and stuff, let's get that out of the turkey. Gonna get that out, and it might even be a little bit frozen still. That's okay if it is, don't worry about it at all. The outside of the turkey is thawed, and that's all that really matters for the time being. We're also gonna let this, sit in the brine for a good 12 to 24 hours as it is. So when we get everything out of the turkey, once we hollow it out and get all this lovely stuff out over there, and they're actually called the giblets. What is this thing called?
The neck.
Oh, right, the neck. Wow, turkey's got a thin neck, huh? Gobble, gobble, gobble. So now let's take our turkey and we're gonna transport it into our large oven bag. Now what you're gonna want is one of these oven bags, these big things here that you take out of there, and we're gonna put the turkey and all of the browning liquid and an additional gallon of cold water in here. Make sure you use a really nice big bag if you don't use one of these oven bags, but I highly suggest that you use one of these. So now let's take a roasting pan or a tin of some nature that's about this size. This is actually a deep lasagna pan I'm using. It's gonna fit my turkey just fine. And I'm gonna just put the bag in there as sort of a base and let it sit in there, and then I'm going to take my turkey and just plop it inside the bag just like so. Perfect. Now we're gonna go to the refrigerator and we're gonna get out that brining liquid. Here it is. Like I said, it might be a little lukewarm. It took about, 2 to 2.5 hours to get there. It doesn't have to be super cold. Don't worry about that just yet, because we're gonna add another gallon of cold water to it, and plus the turkey's pretty cold as it is. It just can't be hot anymore, like I said, because then it'll start cooking the turkey, and we don't want that to happen in the bag. So let's pour all of the brining liquid inside the bag so it's covering our turkey, and just do this kind of carefully if possible. Get all that in there. Awesome. You see all of our browning liquid, the whole gallon of it is inside the bag with the turkey, but now we're not done yet. We want to add another gallon of cold water to the bag as well. There's a lot in there, the whole turkey needs to be submerged. So let's get another gallon of just cold water. Now you might want somebody, to help you out with this to hold the bag open, because believe me, I tried it on my own and some of it might spill out. We don't want to be too ambitious here. So let's have the water now poured into the bag with a helper. Okay, now this is the part where you want to be careful. You want to tie a good knot in this bag. We don't want anything to come out. Get the air out of there if you could, just, let it shoot out. It kind of feels like a gigantic turkey balloon. All right, and now let's tie a nice knot in this bag. And trust me, you're gonna wanna make sure you tie a knot in there before you tie a little wraparound thingy that came with the bag first. And here's why. Down here, and I'm just gonna... So tie the knot first, will you? A nice, good, tight one, because we don't want any of this water coming out. Just be careful with this stuff, or it'll feel like a slip and slide exploded in your house. All right, and once you have the knot tied, the thing is gonna come with these fantastic little fasteners. Just put it directly underneath the knot for extra security. You definitely want a knot in there too. Make it as tight as it can possibly go, because this is gonna wanna go places. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna wanna go places. All right, we're nice and tight. So because I might have underestimated how large this bag was gonna be, full of 2 gallons of water with the turkey, this probably might not be the best idea unless you have a really, really deep dish. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna carefully transport the turkey, very, very, very carefully
Put your hand under it.
to a stock pot, just like this. And I should have done this in the first place. Make sure when you're putting the turkey in the bag with the browning liquid, you already have it inside of a large stock pot or a cooler. I'm gonna now take that and put it in the fridge and let it sit in the brine for a good 12 to 24 hours, your choice. But don't do it any less than 12 hours. Like I said, this is a prepping meal. And into the fridge you go for a good 12 to 24 hours, and we'll see you soon, and then we're gonna cook that gobble, gobble, gobble right inside the Instant Pot. Step 4, make the stuffing. So just before we're ready to take our turkey out of the fridge and remove all the brine from it, what we're going to do is we're going to create our stuffing in the Instant Pot. Now, to see how to make the stuffing, I'm gonna link it in the recipe. It's super simple and super quick, but frankly, this video is already long enough as it is, and that's a whole other step to do. Again, so easy, it's gonna be linked right in the recipe, how to do it, super simple. Step 5, cook the turkey. All right, it's time to get that turkey out of the fridge. Look at you sitting in there for almost 24 hours. I did it, but again, a minimum of 12. If you want to do up to 24, that's fine too. Let's get it out of there and let's get rid of all this brine. Okay, so now it's time to remove all of that brine and all the water from the turkey and just keep the turkey as it is. We're gonna discard everything. I don't have to be as delicate this time because we're ripping the bag open and that's all that matters. So let's get it out of the pot. Look at that, excellent. And in a clean sink, just then dump all this brine. Look at that. Whoa, 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 whoa. All of it goes down the drain. So now what I want to do is I want to rinse my turkey off. Make sure we get it nice and rinsed. All the brine that was on it. Okay, and once our turkey is nice and rinsed off, we're going to take some paper towels and we're going to pat it dry. All right, so just pat your turkey nice and dry. Get it down there. It's just gonna get moist and wet again once we put it in the pot, but still make sure it's dry for now. And if you have any pieces of plastic that are in your turkey, maybe holding it open like this, make sure of course you get it out of there before you are going to cook it and stuff it. also get the inside of our turkey and just dabble the inside of there and dry that out a little bit so we can get everything out of there. We don't want any of the brine sitting in there. Make sure the inside is nice and cleared because we're gonna put our stuffing inside of our turkey. All right, so I'm gonna take my stuffing by hand and I'm going to just put it inside the cavity of our turkey and get it all in there as much as you possibly can. We might have some extra, that's fine. You can save it for another day or cook it separately from the turkey. Just really stuff that thing really good. They don't call it stuffing for nothing, huh? Pack it in there, really pack it in there. We want this turkey to be really stuffed. As stuffed as we're gonna be when we eat this guy, gal. Right now, I think we're pretty much to the brim of stuffing for this guy, so we're gonna just leave it be for the time being. And now I'm gonna go back to the Instant Pot and I'm just gonna prep it for our turkey. Super simple. So I made my broth for my stuffing in the Instant Pot earlier, and I'm not even gonna have to clean it out now because we're just gonna use it again anyway. What we're going to do is we're just gonna put the trivet inside the Instant Pot. And by the way, I'm using an 8-quart pot for this, by the way, guys. If you wanna use a 6-quart, make sure you get a small turkey that I'm talking like 6.5 to 7 pounds maximum. I'm using a 9.5 pound turkey now, and this one's really just going to fit. And I wouldn't even recommend that you go over 9 pounds in terms of turkeys. So put the trivet in the pot. Now, because we're making a turkey and we want our gravy to be a turkey flavor, I'm gonna use Better Than Bouillon's turkey base. Yes, they make that as well. If your supermarket doesn't have it, I actually found this at mine. You can easily buy it online and I'll link it in the recipe. I highly recommend you use this. If you don't, you can use chicken broth as well. Add 2 cups of turkey base or chicken base, and then carefully transport our turkey inside of our pot. Now we want to make sure so the cavity is facing up so the stuffing remains in that way, in that position. And we really need to make sure that our turkey is going to be maneuvered nicely so the lid's going to close. But the next thing we got to do is prep a few more veggies to put into our pot before we put our lid on top. So we're going to take 2 medium yellow onions, 2 stalks of celery, and 2 carrots. Nice and chopped up coarsely, so we have our carrots kind of looking like nice discs like this, our celery chopped into nice slices like so, and our onion just quartered into wedges like this. And it's not going to matter if they go directly on top of the turkey. Just add in as many as you possibly can, and we're going to just put them around the turkey, on the turkey, all over the place. All right, and the perfect fit. Now let's get that lid on top and let's make it fit and figure out a way to if it doesn't. Now let's get our lid and make sure that we can close it. It shuts. Make sure we're in sealing position here. Now that our lid is nice and secure on top, I'm going to hit the manual or pressure cook button, depending what your model is. Now the rule is typically about 6 minutes per pound of turkey, but I'm going to we have 9.5 pounds of turkey. I want mine to be a little firmer when it comes out. It's still gonna be super juicy and tender. I'm going for 50 minutes, high pressure. And then when we're done with our cooking, we're gonna let it do a natural release for about 12 minutes, and then we're gonna follow up with a quick release. Okay, now that that's finished, we're going to allow a 12-minute natural release, which means that's going to count to the number 12, and then we're going to finish it off with a quick release by turning the little valve into the venting position. All right, it's been 12 minutes, so let's finish with a quick release. And the pin just dropped, so let's take the lid off, guys, and let's see how this turkey came out. There we have it. Okay, let's just let it sit there for a second because we're going to have to transfer it into a turkey pan. Now, it's a good thing we put the trivet in there because that's going to really help us get it out of there. Okay, so I very carefully transported our inner pot from our Instant Pot over there to over here and to be right next to some sort of turkey pan with, if you have one of these little grills to put the turkey on, that's great too, because this is going to be a part we have to be very, very delicate with. This turkey is going to be really tender, and we want to make sure we keep it intact when we transfer it from the pot to the pan. All right, so now we're going to take the turkey, and I'm going to take it with the trivet edges, just like this. Be very careful, guys. Like a little bit of a balancing act here, and we want to move it and transfer it right to the pot here. Excellent. You could leave it on the trivet, that's okay. Don't worry about it for now. But there we have it. Our turkey is now on top of the pan. We made it successful, and now look at this. All of our deliciousness, the drippings and the turkey base in there, it's gonna form our gravy. So we're gonna put this back in the Instant Pot in a second when the turkey's in the oven. But first, the next step, let's give this turkey a little bit of color. And the way we give it a little bit of color is with some Gravy Master or a kitchen bouquet. It's like the same thing. This we're gonna cheat a little bit because it's gonna basically be like we're gonna paint the turkey with one of these brushes, but it's gonna give it that look that's gonna look like it was like cooking and basting for hours and hours when we really just did it super quick in the Instant Pot, and it's gonna be fall off the bone, tender and delicious. All right, so make sure that the breast side is facing up, so we wanna do that in there, and if you just be very delicate when you flip it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour a little bit of the Gravy Master right on top. Don't overdo it. A little bit goes a long way, because if you overdo it, it might come out and it'll give the appearance that it burned in the oven, when the truth is it's not burning at all, it's just simply the color. So just a little bit goes a long way, and then just baste it over and just really spread the love throughout the delicious and gorgeous turkey breast. If it looks too dark in places before you go in, chances are it's gonna look really dark when it comes out. Okay, and there we go. We've George Seurata'd this gorgeously. Now let's pop this right into the oven. All right, so then let's pop this deliciousness inside the oven, and we're gonna check on it in 10 minutes. We're at 400 degrees. Make sure the oven was preheated and we're on roast. And we'll get, or it doesn't really matter if your oven doesn't have those settings, just 400 degrees is fine. Leave it in there for 10 minutes. Keep an eye on it. Every oven varies, and then come back and then take it out. And after 10 minutes, let's look at our turkey, and oh, Lord. Lord, does that look like a gorgeous turkey or what? Oh my gosh. Oh, and the smell. This entire place smells like the pilgrims have just landed at Plymouth Rock. You're gonna lose your mind. Can't wait to try it out. Let's get it out of there. Let's get this beauty out of there, and there it is, our gorgeous Thanksgiving turkey, made in the Instant Pot and just literally touched off with a lovely little finish in the oven with a little bit of gravy mess to make it look like it was cooking all day long. But the reality is, it took no time at all, really, for a turkey, and it's gonna be so moist and tender and delicious. All right, let's let it sit there for a few minutes, and then we're gonna have my dad carve it up. Step 6, just pretend I have 6 fingers on this hand. This is our final step. While the turkey is just cooling there, we're going to make our gravy. Easy peasy. All right, so I've now transferred our inner pot that carried our turkey, and it has all these wonderful drippings from it right back to the Instant Pot. And what I'm gonna do now is come down here. I hit keep warm cancel before. I'm gonna hit the saute function, leave it on more, and let's bring this to a bubble. And once everything in the pot bubbles, we're gonna add in Better Than Bouillon's brother or sister, whatever you wanna call it, some Better Than gravy. I'm gonna add 2 packets of this stuff, and I'm using the turkey flavor, but you can use chicken flavor if you can find it, or if you can't find it, you can use any kind you want that works perfectly, or you can just buy it on your supermarket. And if you can't find it there, I'll link it into the recipe so you can use this exact stuff. 2 packets of it. So let's add in our packets of gravy. And then use a whisk and really whisk and beat everything up into that pot, because the gravy seasoning really likes to clump together, so let's make sure it doesn't do that. Let's just whisk it all away. Now the secret to thicken our gravy, and pretty much anything else, is to make a cornstarch slurry. Let's do 2 tablespoons of cornstarch combined with 2 tablespoons of water, equal parts. And then mix it all together so it goes from a cement-like consistency to a nice and smooth one. So once our gravy's come to a bubble, let's add in our cornstarch slurry. And then just stir it around for about 2 minutes and let it continue to bubble, and then we're gonna turn the heat off and then let it completely simmer down. All right, and after a couple of minutes of bubbling, let's turn the heat off on the top. And now you see, now that the bubbles are dying down, we have a nice and beautiful consistency with our gravy. Not super thin, not super thick, right in the middle, which is exactly what we want. And now let's take that beautiful gravy and ladle it into a lovely gravy boat or gravy holder. If it's really hot, make sure you put a spoon in there. It means if we're using glass or something, because that will prevent it from cracking. A little tip. And ride that gravy train. All right, now that the turkey's had a chance to cool, let's carve it up. There's my dad, who's about to carve the turkey up, the professional turkey carver here, and look at that. Look at how fabulous that meat looks. Good job, Dad. Awesome. Yum. He just keeps on cutting that turkey up, and we're putting it onto our beautiful, stereotypical plate that's probably from Pier 1 or something. Look at all of that beautiful, moist, tender turkey looking just gorgeous.
The best part is picking and...
All right, we won't tell anybody that you did that, okay? All right. Get that drumstick off there. That one's for me. Or is it for Richard? We'll have to fight over it. Right. I forgot there were 2 drumsticks, so we don't have to fight. There we go. 1 drumstick for Richard, 1 drumstick for Jeffrey, and all of the breast meat for Mom and Dad. Well, maybe I'll have a little bit of it too. This turkey is cooked perfectly. It's not underdone, it's not overdone, it's moist, it's phenomenal, it's juicy, it's exactly what you want in turkey. And the best part is the inside of our turkey has our stuffing. And then look at that, all of that coming out of the turkey, that's our stuffing that we put in there earlier. So that's the best part, in my opinion, to go with the turkey, with the gravy and everything. All 3 things done in the pot. Now we're gonna scoop that delicious stuffing right out of the turkey and put it onto the plate. There's plenty of it in there, and we have that nice roasted edge of the stuffing from when we baked it in the oven for a little bit. And look at how hot that stuffing is. It's gonna be phenomenal. Oh, look at that. All that stuffing is coming right on out, right onto our delicious turkey plate. And it's the wonderful combination of having some of the stuffing that's a little softer, along with some that's a little bit more roasted and crunchier. And now, let's put our gravy next to it. And we have the whole trifecta, guys. All in one meal. We have our turkey, our stuffing, and the gravy to dress both of them. Amazing.
You mean it's not stovetop stuffing?
All right, Dad, try it out. And just be honest, please. What do you think of this? I want everyone to really know what they really think of it. What do you guys think of this food?
I think it's delicious.
Yeah?
Absolutely
Describe it.
delicious.
What does it taste like? One word.
It just tastes like Thanksgiving.
What does it taste like? It tastes like turkey.
What do you
Oh,
think?
wow, really. It's super moist.
Yeah?
It's not dry at all. That was just the turkey and the gravy I tasted. And let me taste the stuffing. Really, really, really good.
All right. Amazing.
Really good. Amazing.
Awesome.
Very good.
And now we have Richard. Hey,
Can I-
Richard.
Hey, can I eat now?
Okay. Is it
Really
good?
good. It's really
Is it
Very
flavorful?
Yes. Yes. Indeed.
One word to describe this dish.
Moist.
fabulous.
Try it out. Some stuffing here.
The stuffing's outrageous.
That stuffing is on another level. Now let me try some of the turkey. Look at how amazing that looks with the gravy. It is incredibly moist. The flavor is amazing. That brine in the beginning really adds to it. It was so easily made in the Instant Pot, as you saw. It really takes no time. You don't have to go back and baste it. None of those shenanigans in the oven. No worrying about it getting dried out because it's gonna be so tender and moist. You see also at the same time it slices nicely. Now, this meal is meant for a small family, obviously, and to feed about 4 people like us. If you have a larger one, probably the oven is the best way to do it. Probably feed 4 to 5 with this. But guys, I'm telling you, it's an amazing way to cook turkey. It's so easy, 3 things at once: gravy, turkey, stuffing. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. If you enjoy these videos, go to pressureluckcooking.com for more videos that are easy to follow recipes. Follow me on Facebook. That's facebook.com/pressureluckcooking. Like the page for tons of tips, great advice, great recipes, and whenever anything new drops. Subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, you know, everything. I got it all. Thank you guys so much again. And for my family to yours, happy Thanksgiving. This is fabulous. And I'm telling you right now, this wine is so earned, it's not even funny. Oh, and look, the wishbone, we gotta make a wish. Ma, come over here. All right, so we're gonna make a wish. Let's wish. I want to wish everybody who's watching from Pressure to Luck and everyone out there a happy Thanksgiving. May everybody just have wonderful things in their life and give thanks to those who are surrounding you. Mom, I give thanks to you.
And I give thanks to you. And don't forget to enter my Jeffries contest.